welcome back to the Pep Talk episode 4.
Episode number 4.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you back. We hope that you guys have been having a great month, and we're excited to have this conversation with you today. It's Pastor Kayla here with my co-host.
I'm Robert.
And we are joined with the incredible, amazing Pastor Jeff and Kim Baker.
Hey! Wow, man. We are so honored to be in the top 4.
Yes.
Top 4 selected to be on the
We'll
podcast.
take it.
We love it.
And we gave you the holiday edition. You know, we always, you save the best, like on TV shows, like for that holiday edition.
That's true.
Or is that because everyone else is on vacation? We're the only ones here still.
Nope. We're sticking
Okay.
with the special.
Okay. Oh, it's a special.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
we feel special to be on this podcast. Thanks, guys.
We're so glad to have you guys and pick your brain on some wisdom for our parents to give them a good pep talk today. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your kids, your grandkids? Just for those who don't know, would you tell us a little bit about your family?
Oh, I'd love to do that. So we have 4 grown children, 1 boy and 3 girls. Brittany, Andrew, Tiffany, and Christian. They're all married. We have 11 grandchildren. We're just loving it, loving life. I'm a little exhausted. We baked Christmas cookies the last 3 days.
Oh,
So, you know, that was exhausting.
That
But
is
so good. Getting a little sugar shock.
Eating all those
But,
cookies was
yes.
a lot of hard work
It
on my part.
was,
Yeah,
yes.
you're like, I'm exhausted.
I'm
Yes,
exhausted
he
too.
was the taste tester. Every time he came in, he was in the kitchen under everybody's feet. But,
That's giving Santa a run for his money.
yeah, that's
Yeah, come on.
right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Do you like make the same Christmas cookies every year, or do you switch it
For
up?
the most part, yeah. They kind of make
Okay.
the same, well, as the kids get older, it's funny how, these different things pop up like, oh, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to that.
True.
So then those things change a little bit, but same.
There's more
same,
keto-friendly cookies this year than ever
that's
before.
true. That is true.
interesting.
Same
Yeah.
cookies, but keto friendly.
And I love it because they got the keto version and the non-keto version.
Wow.
And you can compare the two.
Oh, that's good.
Although
very good.
I haven't told you this yet, but I did get on the scale this morning, so I might have not gotten to the proper cookies. I might have missed the keto.
The keto one.
Got to actually.
You're redirected to the wrong. Yeah.
My bad.
Oh,
No wonder they were so good.
so good. Man, I love Christmas cookies. Well, hey, it is Christmas time. It is the holiday season. So here's my question for you, just to break the ice, get us going. You guys can think about it at home too. What Christmas song do you hear and you realize it's Christmas time?
5 golden rings,
the
4
12
willing
days
birds,
of
3 French hens, 2
Christmas.
turtle doves.
Oh.
I know it's not very religious and, churchy, but that's the one.
There's a sermon in there somewhere.
That's the one.
Yeah, there's definitely a sermon in there. That's your song for real?
I mean, I've been singing it all morning.
We've been married all these years and I didn't know that.
Hey,
That's the song.
we're happy to help.
She hears it
song?
and it's Christmas.
Well, you know
What-
what's funny is the grandkids had never, 4 of the grandkids, Brittany and Tank's kids, had never heard the song. And so they heard it once. And Brittany was like, okay, 2, she was going down. She goes, 2. And one of the girls, Kyriel, said, shoes?
Two
They
shoes.
had never heard it before.
Such a girl.
So that's probably why it's
I would
in my
love to
mind.
hear the new version of that song. Mine, I would probably say, again, though, mine is not necessarily a religious song, right? I grew up, I loved songs like Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right?
Classic.
Jack Frost, Nipping at Your Nose, right?
Yep.
And I came up with all kinds of new words for songs like that.
Yes.
All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. I mean, look, when we get down to that level of song, I'm like, Christmas is upon us.
Yes, that's true. They are. Those are like the classics. They're so cute. And then they show like the old shows on TV and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Like,
Rudolph's so cute still. Like, how do shows look so outdated, but then somehow Rudolph has just like past time and it still looks great.
I know, because
does.
everybody wants to see a reindeer that has a nose that glows. I'm just telling you right now, everybody wants to see
Everyone.
that. Everybody.
Nose that
Everyone.
glows. Robert, what song do you hear? And you're like, it's Christmas time.
Oh, man. It's, I'm in a store and I'm singing.
Oh, my
I'm in a
word.
store and I'm singing.
Elf. It's
Elf.
Elf.
Good grief.
Yeah.
It's Elf.
Elf.
Okay.
I heard that
not a
Elf
real
is
song.
like one of the top Christmas movies ever.
It is.
It is the top.
It has to be the top by now. I think it's past
Someone needs to
Christmas
Google
Story.
that.
The first time we went and saw that, well, the only time we went and saw that at the theater.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
went on a double date with some friends of ours, and both the guys left and went into a different movie.
I did.
Really?
I did.
You're like, not
But
about
now,
this.
now
I
they
did. I
like
got
it.
up,
They
I
were
walked out,
not
and I
having
walked
it.
right into another theater. I didn't care what the other movie was.
You know, but I do feel a little bit like it grows on you over time.
It has.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
think the first time I watched it, I wasn't overly impressed either. I was
You
like,
have
to be in the mood,
okay.
right?
Yeah, I think you have to be in the mood.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in it now, though.
When I hear Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," I'm like, it's Christmas. Like I think that's the
man.
first song on my like Christmas Spotify playlist. Like,
Oh.
anyways, you
Right.
know.
It's
You get-
Mariah
Mariah
Carey.
Carey does it better.
Sing it, girl.
No, it's hard to top Mariah Carey.
I know.
That's a
She
tough
just
one right
loves
there.
Christmas. Yeah.
That is a tough one.
Well, since it is Christmas, there's lots of fun things that happen. I know parents are so busy with trying to bring all the festivities on, all the joyful occasions, but there's some difficult parts of Christmas too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And so we wanted to ask you, Pastor Jeff and Kim, to just come and encourage some parents on Christmas time and just let's talk through some of the more difficult things that maybe they might come across at Christmas, or even just things that they can be intentional with, or that we can be intentional with as parents, like to help make Jesus the center of our Christmas. So that's what we're talking about all month in New Life Kids is Christmas, celebrating Jesus, God's greatest gift. And memorizing Isaiah 9:6. It's just a great time in helping our kids and our families remember that Christmas is all about Jesus, right?
Right.
So here's our first question for you. With so many expectations on events and experiences, what are some rhythms, traditions, or routines that helped you guys maintain your family's focus on Jesus during the holidays?
Yeah. Yeah. The very first thing that I was raised with, and then we decided we're going to implement this in our family as well, is on Christmas morning. I know all the kids were excited, right? I mean, and a lot of homes, like kids will wake the parents up on Christmas
True,
morning, right?
yeah.
The gifts are under the tree. Let's open them finally. I don't know about your family, but I mean, at our family, there was always one gift that was sacrificially given, right, on Christmas Eve,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Just to let them know the rest will be opened. Just you get to open one, and they always would pick the
If you
largest
sleep
one.
in,
Of
you can
course.
open one tonight.
If you sleep, yeah.
That's exactly right. But before we ever broke into the festivities of the giving of the gifts to one another, which, by the way, I love that. I love the theme that you have, right? Because I think that when we give gifts to each other, it's a really an earthly symbol of the heavenly gift that God gave us. And I think that that's one of the reasons why we probably give gifts, right? I know there's other Christmas traditions, but I like to see it that way. So before we ever gave our gifts to each other, we sat down and we read the story of the greatest gift of Jesus coming. And I always loved that moment. We sat in a circle, opened up the Bible. I would read it and kind of try to bring it to life for our kids. Then we would thank God, for that greatest gift. And then I felt like that kind of set the tone. It helped our kids understand what is Christmas all about.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of commercialism to Christmas. There's a lot of other fun traditions. I think we even mentioned some of the songs, Rudolph and Santa and a snowman. And I love all that stuff. I love all that. Have fun with it, right? But make sure that Jesus is the center. And so reading that story allows you to be kind of the pastor of your home.
Yeah.
You're the main discipler of your kids. And so this is your opportunity. Now there's all kinds of resources, right? Guarantee you, right now, media's got something you can watch or
they do.
whatever. But whatever you do, whether it's open up the Bible, going to Right Now Media, going to YouTube, find a video, whatever it's going to be, just make sure that Jesus is brought in. And I think that Jesus should be brought in the first thing in that morning before anything else happens.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that it even teaches kids that, like, before we do anything, like, let's wait and let's anticipate together and let's remember what this is all about. So I do. I
Yeah.
love that. And I love your advice to put that first too. Like,
Yeah.
just start the morning with it. You
Start
know,
it.
your kids are going to want to rip right into all those gifts, but it's okay for them to feel that bit of anticipation and waiting as you engage them in remembering what it's all about.
I think, if I add one more thing, look, what is the wonder and the awe of Christmas for kids? And if we don't get in front and lead that, then the wonder and the awe is going to be something that is temporary. They're going to open the gift. It's going to be a toy. Potentially before January 1st, it's already broke. right?
Very
Or the
common.
batteries die.
If that's the case, then the wonder and the awe is in the wrong place. So when we start with Jesus, then we bring the wonder and the awe of Christmas back to the main thing, right? And let our kids grow up with that wonder and awe of Christmas being Christ.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so along with that, one of the parts of holidays is you spend a lot of time with family. Often, right? With your extended family, with your parents, there's a lot of gathered times together. And while sometimes that can be a lot of fun, there can also be quite a bit of tension sometimes with that. Your parents or the grandparents or your great uncle removed, they all often have their own expectations for Christmas.
Right.
And maybe have done a tradition for years and years and years. And then as these families that are listening right now, right? Like we want to pave our own way with some new traditions and all that. So what are some tips or advice you would give a parent who feels at odd with their parents when it comes to differing priorities at Christmas time?
Yeah, you wanna start with that?
Well, I can, sure.
Okay.
It's a funny for me having lost both my parents already. I wish I could go back and value some of that time more than I did. Now, we were in Alaska a lot of the years of our kids growing up, so we, had our own traditions and didn't have family close by. But I feel like, if we can honor our parents while they're here and have those extra moments with family wherever we can, make time for them because they're not always going to be with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that is super important. The other thing that goes through my mind, though, is I think sometimes we make things too big, and we take things that should be just minor and just have grace for one another. The Bible talks about that, right? We're each different, and we need to have grace for one another, including our parents and including the crazy uncle. I like to talk about him from time to time. I had one. And so don't make it a mountain. Don't die on these things, right? It's not worth it. On the other hand, Kim and I have valued creating some traditions that are just between us and our kids. They didn't involve our parents. They didn't involve even extended family. And it's not because we didn't want them. It's that we wanted something that our immediate family, which is me, Kim, and our kids, that we called this ours. Okay, if that's going to be the case, don't force that on others. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you ask these long-standing family traditions that if they deal anything with Christmas or with Christ, then enjoy those. But why would you try to force your little thing now upon everybody? Like, take your little thing and go offline with it. Do that on Christmas Eve at your own house, or do that the first thing on Christmas morning before anybody else shows up, right? I mean, it's okay to create your lane. Just realize that your family is like a multi-lane interstate, and you get one lane of that interstate. But what if one person was driving down the multi-lane interstate and just deciding, hey, I want to be in your lane. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. They would cause a wreck. Yeah. And that's what's happening in families is that there are all these lanes of tradition and generations, and we got to learn to value that while carving out some unique experiences that are just for us and our kids.
Yeah, that's good. It kind of reminds me how in the New Testament we see Paul over and over encourage us, like, strive for unity, strive for peace, make peace a priority, and I love that that's such a good solution to, like, find a spot, find a time that you can do it, but still honor the time that you have all together as well.
Yeah. It might be like, like our youngest daughter, Christian, and her husband now. One of their things is they buy Christmas pajamas for the entire family every year. They do that, right? Well, I don't want them showing up at my house in their Christmas pajamas. Okay, I'm just messing around.
Where's our Christmas pajamas?
I'm just messing around. But I mean, that's unique. Okay, we never did that. I think of another family that I think they go and watch a Christmas movie together Okay, well, that's great. I don't know that we ever really did that on a traditional basis, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so go do it. Like, have fun with it. Let your kids go, what movie we're going to watch this year? Or what pajamas am I going to wear this year? Or, what is it that we're going to do? So
Yeah.
I just think, man, create those little special moments that your family can look forward to. And it creates unity in your family as well.
I love that. Well, one of our last questions that we wanted to ask you guys was, some people, their Christmas doesn't look like what they expected this year, whether it is a tragedy that's hit their home or someone that they expected to have in their home for Christmas this year isn't going to be. So what would you guys say to encourage someone whose Christmas doesn't look how they expected it to?
Wow. Be thinking, honey, because you're gonna land the plane for us on this one. But we live in a difficult time. And there's, with the inflation and COVID that happened and people that are no longer with us, family members, finances that we don't have, things got tight, right? And we've got the same thing happening in our family with one of our daughters as well right now. And so we feel that. We know that struggle. And so even with our own daughter, the reminder is, what is Christmas really all about? And I know that when we walk through pain, it causes us to redefine things. And so what is Christmas all about? Is it about the giving of gifts one to another? Is it about going out and buying that brand new Christmas tree? What is it all about? Is it the materialism? Because I think that we have easily gotten caught up, even as followers of Christ, into the consumerism traditions of Christmas. And if that's what you're caught up in, then when you are at the table and there's an empty chair and that family member that you loved is no longer there, and you're not giving them gifts or you're not receiving gifts from them, then the focus is wrong, right? If it's about, we don't have as much money, I can't give you the gifts I want, so I feel like a failure as a parent, then the focus is wrong. But so when we walk through pain like that, let it be a time of recalibration where we ask ourselves the most important question at Christmas. What is this all about? And make sure that we bring the real focus and the real meaning of Christmas to the number one priority. Mm-hmm. And if that means we have to repent, then we repent. God, I'm sorry. Like, I've been raising my children and my family for the last 10 years, and we've had the wrong focus. And this pain is causing me to refocus and recognize, guys, if we didn't have anything, if we lost our house, if they repossessed the car, if I lost my job, we could still have joy at Christmas. We lost a family member, right? Painful, but we can still have joy at Christmas. And the reason for that is because Christ is the center. So let's come back to that. Like, because we have Christ, we have everything. Because we have Christ, our family member who's now in heaven, we will see them again. Like, because we have Christ, because Christ came, we have the very best, right? And the very best is not in the tangible gift I give you. The very best is in the spiritual gift that God gave us. And put our hope there. Come back, recalibrate, make Jesus the center again.
Gosh, you said it all. I know that I was sharing with some of my girls yesterday that we had a moment when our kids were young and Santa came. We didn't know he was coming to the house, and he brought the kids gift. And
but you got to realize that at that moment when Santa came, right, it was, we had just left the Air Force, and we had moved to Valdez, Alaska to do ministry, and the church promised to pay us nothing. And so we moved into a Alaska housing home, 4-bedroom house, that because they based it off of income, I think we paid like $150 a month, and that covered everything because that's how poor we were, right? That's the context.
Yes, and Santa came to the house, and I was so happy. I don't even remember how happy the kids were, and I get choked up every time because I just am reminded that, that I'm thankful that I can relate to that moment where we needed someone to come through for our kids, and just that heart of compassion, and sharing with my girls yesterday about that, and just that this is not a moment to shrink back, but it's a moment to, as you're going through these things, as we mentioned with one of our girls, just to be so thankful for his compassion towards us, his love that he gave Jesus, that he came, and that there are people around you that want to support you and love you. And so it's such a great opportunity for us as a church family to come around each other, reach out, let someone bless you. It's a blessing to them, you know? And so I just am so thankful really for that moment. And at the time it was so hard, and then it was so wonderful. Yeah. But it just helps to relate to those moments where people are struggling. And, you know, we do have Grief Share here at the church where they meet. It's a great, I went through that with a couple losses in my life, and it was so helpful. And so you can find that online as well. Grief Share is a great opportunity to just grow and also be around others who have lost loved ones or had different losses in their life. So,
yeah. So let me just finish with this one simple challenge. Christmas, God sent Jesus because he loved us, right? Mm-hmm. So what if this Christmas, if you don't have a lot, or if it's going to be a painful one because maybe you're going to be there at a table where you're missing a loved one, what if you did what God did for us? And what if you refocused, recalibrated Christmas, and you found a way to serve someone else who was in need, like when that loving group of people, which we have no idea who they were, sent a man dressed up in a Santa costume to bring toys to us because they knew if you live in that house, you must not have a lot, so we're going to bless you. And so maybe recalibrate this year. Maybe this is the year that if it's going to be painful to do the same thing, change it up and do what God did through Jesus for us, and go love someone else that's in need.
I love that.
It's really good.
So good. Man, what a good challenge for us, and how encouraging. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming on and encouraging us, challenging us, and talking about Christmas songs with us. We love all of it.
Yeah. We do have one question to wrap up.
Here we go.
This is a question that we ask every single person who comes on Pep Talk. So you guys are the fourth group of people to come on. And so the question is this. Talking to the parents who are listening right now, we know you guys have experience parenting, so we want to glean some wisdom from you guys. What's something that you wish you would have learned earlier on in your parenting experience? Something that you can encourage someone so that they're a little bit further ahead in the parenting journey than you were at the same stage of life that they're in.
Okay, I just got the nod from my wife. She's like, please speak for us. I got the nod. All right. All right. This is super. I mean, it's the first thing that pops into my mind, and because I think it's probably the most powerful lesson I learned, and I learned it too late. I made the behavior of my children a reflection on me instead of the behavior of my children needing the best from me. So let me say that again. When my kids screwed up, I got the phone call from the teacher that normally your son did this or did that, not normally your daughter.
Sorry, Andy.
However, though, come on. I made it about me. I took it personal. I felt like that action was now a reflection on me. So when you feel like what your kids have done as a reflection on you, guess what you can't do? You cannot parent in a loving way. You're always going to be parenting them now out of your insecurity. And the minute you do that is the minute you cross the line. And you'll say things that you regret to your kids. You'll do things that you regret to them, and you will wound them and scar them. Now, God's got a lot of grace, and there's some healing can happen, but that done over and over and over again, your kids will start to learn you're not safe. So we have to disconnect from that the behavior of our children can't be necessarily the direct reflection of me. My kid's going through a tough time. Maybe they're getting bullied at school. Maybe they're trying to live up to certain levels of peer pressure. Maybe they're struggling with something, right? And I'll miss all of that. I won't be the best for them. So I got to disconnect from that and just go, all right, my kid needs the best from me right now. So I got to diagnose this. I got to get into their life. I've got to help them figure out what's going on. I got to let them know I'm safe and I'm here with them. And no matter what they're going through, I'm going to walk it out with you. So I think that's probably the thing I wish I would have learned a lot earlier.
Thank you for being vulnerable there, because I know that really speaks to the parents who are listening right now.
Good.
So thank you so much for doing that.
Well, it's that time. We made it to the end.
We've made it to the end. So, parents, thank you so much for being here, and I hope this was encouraging for you. And just remember this, you're doing a great job. We're your personal pep squad and cheering you on.
Come on.
We'll see you on the next episode.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.